Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Listen, on Lazan, on my little brother grave. Okay. I don't know who did. I don't know. I ain't saying exactly who. No, I'm just saying, like, what did you hear?
So what time was this? I don't know. Every time they show it, whatever time the camera show me not robbing.
These are times rappers outsmarted detectives. And first, let's start with Fulio, because in April 2022, detectives were patrolling the Jacksonville area, and while working, they spotted Fulio driving a Dodge Durango with a legal window tint. And since it was suspicious, they flickered their lights so Fulio would pull over. And during the traffic stop, a prosecutor shows up at the scene for some odd reason, and that's when things will get bad. Because during the stop, the prosecutor would go on to illegally search Fulio's vehicle, and even tell the officers about who it was. That's when they took Fulio to the patrol car, and a detective then asked him about the death of his best friend, ATK Mitch.
Alright, so I ain't want to bring it up. I know you're going to be upset. Mitch, there's some detectives I want to talk to you real quick about what happened to Mitch.
How long is that gonna take?
Not that long, depends on you. They just going to ask what you know about what happened.
After that question, Fulio quickly learned that he was staying for questioning.
All right, the reason why I'm here, I'm with the homicide unit, and I am lead on your friend's case.
Ooh.
You didn't have a friend that recently got killed?
A lot of friends that.
Recently? Mitch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm lead on that. I know that, I don't know how close you guys were. So, I mean, just kind of give me some insight on, the reason why I want to talk to you, because that's your friend first and foremost. I'm sure you'll want something done about what happened to him, but can you kind of give me a, just rundown on y'all relationship when y'all met? How long y'all been partners or whatever?
The detectives start off trying to learn about who Fulio is and who Mitch is to him. But Fulio just gives them small details, like Mitch is his brother. He also told them he was out of town when Mitch passed.
So what was y'all relationship, as y'all got older?
He used to come to my mama's house. I used to stay on the corner.
Okay.
He used to come over there. My little brother Kendra, who died, everybody used to come out. He used to come over there, show his, support.
What type of work do you do? What type
I'm an artist.
You're an artist? Yeah. Okay. Well, as far as mix go, what are you hearing? I know.
Really, I was in Miami when I heard the news. You know what I'm saying? I was down south with a worm making music, and I saw posting on Instagram, Mitch there. Everybody, the whole Jacksonville, Mitch. I'm like, what? So I called his mama, and then she was like, it's true. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the Then that's how that went.
I just want afterwards though, like what you been hearing. I mean, this your home, boy, bro.
I ain't gonna care. I went to his funeral and all. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? You'll never know who, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't gonna just come out and just say, oh, I killed him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm talking about y'all group, like from your end, what names are you guys hearing?
I ain't really hearing. That's what I'm saying. You ain't going, I don't know.
You could easily tell the detectives didn't know what went down from the questions they were asking because they were all over the place. But Fulio stuck to the same story and told the detectives multiple times that he didn't know anything about that situation.
Well, again, I guess my question more so is what have you been hearing since this happened in January? So I'm pretty sure you heard some things that may, be able to lead to successful as far as finding out who may have been involved, or because what we don't want is like back and forth retaliation. You get what I'm saying? If you may know or hear something, that'd be helpful as well. Because if you know his mom, you can sit up there and call his mom, then I'm pretty sure you would want her to have some answers as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Listen, on Lazan, on my little brother grave.
Okay.
I don't know who did. I don't know.
I ain't saying exactly who.
No, I'm just saying.
Like, what did you hear?
You never. I ain't hear. That's what I'm saying. You will never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. No, I just heard they say little brother got shot. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Miami at the time though, in court. So boom, I'm like, I gotta go to another funeral, pay for his funeral, and do like that.
You ain't tired of that, man?
Yeah. But I'm knowing it.
When Fulio denies knowing anything about the shooting, the detective asks him whether he thinks his music plays a part in the violence around him.
This may be a hard question. And I ain't gonna say it's a hard question, but do you think that your music or your ways or the way you conduct yourself through your music had anything to do with him because of the way y'all?
Nah, cause even before I was rapping, it was, you get what I'm saying? Like, this Jacksonville, bro. Like, it's a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's Jacksonville, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's Jacksonville. You can't just say it's my music that why somebody died. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, do you think it influenced someone or triggered someone, like the way y'all going back and forth?
Nah, it's a million niggas. It's like all through the so it can't,
I mean, but you know what I'm talking about.
You can't let no songs just out. Nah,
but you're saying that you can't let no song do that. But nowadays, like you say, these Jacksonville, a lot of things trigger people to do certain things.
Man, that gotta be in you. You ain't gonna let no song just go. That like me, if I hear a song that I ain't just gonna let crash me out off a song. Like, get what I'm saying?
You never know, man. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
No. A song can't make go do nothing, bro.
Just asking.
And since the detectives couldn't get anything out of him, they decided to leave the room for a little while. More detectives came in and started questioning him about the traffic stop, since they also claimed that Fulio tried eluding. The interrogation didn't last long, since it wasn't much they could get out of him. So they left the room again. That's when the clip of Fulio's interrogation went viral, of him singing Dark Cloud by Rod Wave in the interrogation room.
Been so many dark days, been so many dark days, dark clouds, been so many dark days, been so many dark days, dark clouds.
He would also upload the clip to his Instagram saying, "I can never go out bad. I see a lot of rappers going out bad, telling etc. I don't know nothing. I am not 6'9". In the traffic stop situation, Fulio faced up to 3 years since they tried charging him with fleeing, eluding, and tampering with evidence. And after several attempts to dismiss the case, Fulio pleaded no contest to charges of tampering with evidence in exchange for 6 months of probation, which he served in Georgia. Fulio might have gotten 6 months of probation, but not falling for the detective's tricks saved him from having to spend 3 years in jail. And he didn't reveal anything about the death of Mitch. Now, let's move on to the baby, because in January 2020, he was in Miami since he had to perform at a nightclub. But things didn't go as planned since the promoter only paid the baby $20,000 instead of the whole $30,000. And that's when things took a turn, because the promoter claimed that the baby went on to punch him in the face multiple times. And his crew also jumped in to start attacking the promoter. According to the promoter, the baby and his crew stole his phone, credit card, and $80 in cash. The baby and his crew would go on to flee the scene before returning to the hotel a few hours later, only to be met by the victim along with some police waiting to arrest him. So they took him to the police station for questioning. The interrogation didn't go how the detectives expected it to go, since he beat them at their own game.
What's your full name? We just want to get from you. This is just formality. Just tell your name, date of birth, and all that stuff.
The baby could have easily stayed silent and got a lawyer, but he knew he could outsmart the detectives in this situation.
Okay, you have the right to have a lawyer present with you during questioning. Do you understand? If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. Do you understand that? An incident occurred at the hotel, 1500 Southwest First Avenue, that you were there for, correct?
What incident?
An incident. You had an altercation with somebody?
No.
You didn't. Did you have a business dealing with somebody?
No.
You didn't.
No.
So somebody didn't bring you $20,000 in front of the hotel in your SUV?
No.
They did?
No.
Okay.
Somebody bring $20,000 that wasn't theirs and lied to them and told them that it was for an event of theirs on the 31st. And lied to them. That person, once he realized they was doing bad business, said nah and left with his $20,000.
Okay, so you didn't count it?
And got my contact information to do business the right way. That's what happened.
So what time was this, sir?
I don't know. Every time they chose it. time the camera showed me not robbing no damn body.
The baby was letting the detectives know he had nothing to do with what happened outside, and that his manager was talking to the promoter about him performing at a nightclub. But once the manager noticed the money the promoter was offering was stolen, they didn't want anything to do with it. And the footage from the scene was unclear, and no witnesses were nearby. So the baby stuck to his story.
Common sense. You know what I made to even be down here? A promoter booked me at that hotel. I didn't pay to be at the hotel. I was paid for. You'd have let me on my room, you would have saw close to $250,000 cash legally. I don't got to take nothing from nobody. I will go outside here right now and throw $10,000 in the air. Like, I'm not curious about my money. I don't.
Was there an argument?
No, it was an argument. I didn't argue with a soul. Voice was never raised. This is nameless for me. None of that. None of that. No, I ain't seen no fight. And nothing's taken. We shouldn't be in no robbery.
The baby was also letting the police detectives know that he had way too much money for him and his team to try and rob someone. Because if he has over $250,000 sitting in his hotel room, it wouldn't make any sense that he took $80 from someone. And since the detectives weren't getting much out of him, they began to ask more detailed questions to see if they could catch him in a lie, since a car was spotted on the security camera where the promoter claimed he got robbed.
When I encountered you in the hotel, you came back to the concierge, the counter.
Yeah.
Where were you coming from at that point?
Prime, seafood. Prime, whatever the hell I went to eat. I went to get some food.
Where's that? You don't know?
No,
How'd you get there?
in the car.
What kind of car? Was it a car you drove? Somebody else drove? An Uber?
Yeah.
What kind of car was it? Small car, SUV, truck, what?
I don't know. Let's talk about what matters. What I'm driving in, the car, what I went to go eat, what time I went, that don't got nothing to do with the fact I ain't robbed the damn soul.
Let's take the word robbery out of the picture.
So while we here, we taking the word robbery out of the picture.
The baby was clearly beating the detectives since he had them in the upper hand, but he's about to completely shut them down in what's coming up.
Oh, y'all know too many lies. You get what I'm saying? That's why y'all got to move backwards like that, bro. Like,
You're saying that they're lies, but you don't know what we have done.
okay. I know if y'all had proof of me robbing somebody, we wouldn't even be talking. Y'all would have cuffed me. I would be charged with it. That's what I know, bro.
The baby also confronted the police, since if they had proof he robbed someone, they wouldn't have even questioned him in the first place. And since the detectives couldn't get anything out of the baby, they left the room, and he went to sleep since he wasn't really worried about the situation. A detective would return to let him know he would get locked up since he was still the prime suspect. The baby was facing 15 years in prison and a battery charge if they could gather enough evidence to prove that he robbed someone. But they couldn't get anything other than some blurry surveillance footage. And just 2 months later, this whole case was dismissed since they couldn't prove that the baby committed a crime. The baby also explained in an interview with DJ Academics that he knows how things go and why he doesn't usually hire lawyers in those situations.
Like, I do want you to give some type of knowledge on that, because I've watched it. I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like, the police probably are licking their chops like, yo, we got this. Even though you be spitting.
So how I go? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, okay, so it's simple. Like, why the would I pay for a lawyer in a situation when I can speak for myself?
But they're trying to, like,
It's ain't but see, these is not, knowledgeable enough for, like, the laws to be able to say, and then just walk out. Like, it's simple.
But not all rappers outsmart the detectives the same way DaBaby and Fulio did. Because let's move on to Tay-K. And things went a little differently for him. Because in July 2016, Tay-K was arrested for capital murder, along with 6 other people for charges related to a home invasion where 21-year-old Ethan Walker was murdered. Tay-K and some of his homies planned to rob a local drug dealer. They had 2 girls go to the front door to seduce him. Then, when he was distracted, Tay-K and his crew ran through the home with guns looking for drugs and money. During the robbery, there was a confrontation and Walker was shot. After being arrested and questioned by detectives, Tay-K broke down and started crying.
This video from almost 3 years ago shows a 16-year-old Tamor McIntyre in a small room with police, uncomfortable, wiping his eyes at times, and finally admitting to investigators he played a role in a home invasion and murder in Mansfield.
Tay-K also admitted to his role in the robbery and was placed on house arrest to await trial. But a few days before his court case, Tay-K cut off his ankle monitor and went on the run. While on the run, Tay-K also allegedly committed a few other crimes. On April 23, 2017, he allegedly took the life of a 23 23-year-old cameraman, Mark Saldivar, while attempting to rob him in a Chick-fil-A parking lot. Then, on May 25th, he allegedly beat up and robbed 65-year-old Oniskip Pepe at a park in Arlington. TK would later get caught after going on the run. In July 2019, TK was found guilty of murder for his involvement with the death of Ethan Walker and was sentenced to 55 years in prison. Subscribe real quick if you're enjoying the video. Now let's move on to Florida rapper 12 Honcho, because the reason behind the interrogation isn't clear. But when getting questioned, Honcho decided not to say a word and asked for his lawyer instead.
Is there anything in the room that you want to talk to me about or let me know about? Okay. Is there any drugs in that room?
I don't know.
Alright. If there are drugs in that room, would they belong to you?
I don't want to go ahead.
Okay, no problem at all, man. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my interview.
And after sitting in jail for a while, Honcho ended up beating 25 years since he decided not to say anything when questioned by detectives. But if you thought that was crazy, you have to click this video to see the times rappers got caught lacking.